Hello from the Atlas Trap Company. Today we are going to show you how to install the Tri-Axis wobble kit onto an existing wobble base. So currently we've got the wobble base, and when we're finished up it's going to look like this. This is your Tri-Axis wobble base. Starting with some of the parts that you should find in the box. First, the platform to allow for the tilt of the machine. Next, the motor, bracket, and arm that drives the tilt movement. You've got a new toggle switch for the feature, some additional wires and terminals, wire clamp, and then the hardware, which we will go over. So first, starting with the hardware and the main pieces we're going to add, you are going to first you want to make sure you take your trap out. So remove your trap so that's out of the way, and that's way it's safer to work on. Make sure your trap is decocked before you take it off, so you're not working with a trap that's cocked. So take that out, put it aside, then you'll just have this as you go. So first, you've got the hardware here in the center. You'll use a 9/16 wrench on this. It's also helpful if you've got a drill or an impact with a 9/16 bit to help take some of this stuff off. So this hardware is going to come out, and then you're going to actually lift this part up, and then you'll be installing the tilt feature here between the cradle and the platform. So you can see over here, here's your wobble cradle, tilt platform, and then the original piece. So that's going to be the first step. The hardware here that we're loosening, we're actually going to reuse that in the eyebrow and the opposing bolt hole here. So just like this. So you're just going to basically put that there, reuse that hardware. And then these bolts here, also 9/16 wrench you'll need. That is how we'll be reattaching the wobble cradle onto that. And you can see over here, those 4 bolts that we supply are what you'll use. And so that's going to be your first step to get the tilt feature put between the wobble and the main oscillating platform there. Once you have that all on and secure, we'll be putting on the motor bracket. You've got the hardware here. You're going to need a 1/2" wrench for this. And as you can see over here, we come in from the inside, so the bolt head on the inside, and it's going to line up just like this. So run the bolt from the inside, run the nut here to attach that. You do actually have to focus and be careful, because we need to have the bar slid down through here. So when you put it on, you're going to want to kind of slide this in this way. So you might need maybe 2 sets of hands to kind of help with this. You can see on this one how it will look after this is bolted on, and then this bar runs through the inside here. You will need to loosen and remove the original hardware here, because the bolts are going to be too short. That also is a 9/16 wrench. We do put these on with an impact, so this can be hard to break these loose. You may need an impact or a drill to break these loose, but once you do, these are going to come out. And then, as you can see, we're going to send longer hardware to go through there, to go through both pieces here and this new arm that's going to help drive that movement. When you put this all on, you want to make sure to get this really tight. As you can see over here, there's no gap. So once we tighten it, this should be cinched up together. So there shouldn't be any gap. You want to get that nice and tight there with the new longer bolts. Again, just quickly reviewing that. Putting the new bracket on with the 1/2" bolts there. Making sure we slide the arm through, using the longer bolts to secure the arm that drives the movement. that's the thing you have to worry about there. So once that's on, we are going to be running the new power cable back through the backside. You can actually line it up with the power cord from the wobble feature because we're sending a new wire clamp there, and you can just use the one bolt. If you look under on this side, use the one bolt for the new clamp, and then clamp them both together, and then run those wires nice and clean up towards our switches. So we'll run that wire through. You can clamp it in the beginning or later. You just want to make sure you have enough slack on the wire. And so that covers the hardware part. So next we need to get into our wiring. So a couple things, just how this works. Your power cord that comes in here, it goes to a circuit breaker first, and the power feeds the load side of the circuit breaker with this white wire. And then on the line side, that actually branches out to your toggle switches. It's a little easier to see looking at this splitter. So now I've got 3 wires because we added the tilt feature. So what we're gonna have to do is cut this zip tie, and then we're going to get in here, and you're going to need to remove the wire to the line side of the circuit breaker, and then be careful, just follow this splitter, make sure not to remove the other wires. You need to take off from each toggle. So this was the original 2-way splitter for the wobble only. Now we have the 3-way splitter. It includes the tilt feature. So this goes back on to the line side. And then it's going to go to the open spots on the on the oscillator, wobble, and then your new tilt toggle that we have sent to you. You can see on this toggle switch, we've set the bottom nut about where it needs to be. So it's going to feed up through here. And then we'll include a little hex nut here. You can see just like the others. Get that on. And then actually that's also a 9/16. So you just carefully tighten that up. You don't have to get it too tight. We don't want to bugger up the threads, but get that nice and secure there. And then you'll have the splitter. And one thing you'll notice, so the wire coming from the splitter, it goes to the toggle on the side of the switch. The wire from the motors go to the terminal with the writing on it there, with the information about the switch. But you'll just basically just do the same, duplicate what you've seen on the other switches there. So the first wire from our splitter goes there, and then the other is going to come from that new power cord that we are running through the back. This will be coming up, and that will go to the other there to power the switch from the motor. And those are your 2 connections there. And you'll notice now we have this ground wire with no terminal on it, it's just loose. That's because we have to tie all the ground wires together. So I'm just gonna hook these back up just so that we are out of our way and we know we've got that done. So really the last step here is to tie all the grounds together. So you're gonna have to find the black wire from your power cord. It's right here, it's pretty clear because it's the only one up here in the front. And we're gonna break this connection loose. And you'll see there was a blue wire, that's the ground going to your oscillator motor. Then it's the black wire, that goes back, that was to your wobble motor, the ground there. So now we have this third ground from your tilt motor. So you can either kind of squeeze on this terminal and see if you can't get it to where you can pull these wires out, or if you can't, you're just going to have to clip these wires here as close to the end as possible so we have plenty of space. And then we will send a new terminal, a new yellow male terminal here to put all those grounds together, and then hook it back up to the original ground wire coming in from our power cord. So now we have all three grounds together from our tilt, our wobble, and our oscillator. And over here you can kind of see that illustrated. So here is that ground wire. You can see blue wire from the oscillator, and then the two black wires, one going to the wobble and one going to the tilt, all tied together, one terminal following to our power cord. That covers all of the electrical connections there. Once we get that put back together, then it's going to look the same as this one. If you have any questions, you can always just give us a call, 316-778-2002, or email info@atlastraps.com. Hope you enjoy your new now tri-axis wobble base. Thank you.